Let's stand up.
Okay.
Very big tradition for many, many years here in the tank. 1, 2, 3. Chevailers de Tastevin!
Welcome back to the Max Reality. If you've seen my face before, then you know the drill, but if you're new here, my name's Morgan, and I love talking all things reality TV, and today we are going back to my roots, talking about the show that has made me. Yes, today we are talking about Shark Tank Season 15, Episode 1. Our sharks who kick off the season are Damon, Kevin, Lori, and Mark, along with a brand new guest shark, Candace Nelson, who is the founder of Sprinkles Cupcakes. Let's dive into the businesses. Our first pitch of the night is Gatsby Chocolate, owned by brothers Ryan and Doug, aka Raj and Dodge, and they're looking for $500,000 for 5% of their healthy chocolate bar. So here's what it looks like. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a healthier chocolate bar. It has half the calories and 75% less sugar than other chocolates. They even call it the Halo Top of chocolate. And do you know why, guys? It's because they are the brothers that founded Halo Top, but they have sold that company and decided to start another one.
What possessed you after you had such an incredible ride with Halo Top to go back in and start another company?
I'm so glad you asked that. Stupidity.
Let's get into some numbers. It cost them $190 to make. They wholesale it for $270 and it retails for $399. It's sold in different places like Safeway, Albertsons, Sprouts. They have 6,000 points of distribution. Last year they did just over $2.5 million in sales. Do we think it's profitable though? No, of course not. Last year they lost $3.5 million. This year their sales are just under $2 million. And they said they weren't losing money, but they had no free cash flow available.
So $500,000 for 5% imputes a $10 million valuation.
Correct.
Sales are $2 million.
Correct.
With no free cash flow. See any problem with that?
Candace, our guest shark who's in the dessert space, thinks it's delicious, but thinks they need major work on their branding. There was an overall consensus from especially her and Lori that the packaging and the name itself is all just kind of confusing and not very appealing overall, so Candace goes out. Damon doesn't see how he can add any value, so he's also out. But that doesn't matter if they're out because there are still 3 sharks who are very interested in this for some reason. Lori gives the guys their first offer of $250,000 as equity for 20% and another $250,000 as a short-term loan at a 6% interest rate. She says she is their demo and she loves the product and will get it out to the masses for them. Kevin decides he'll make his own offer of $500,000 as venture debt for 12%. Now, of course, this made me go look up what venture debt meant, and everything I was reading about it made it sound like the whole idea, the whole point of venture debt is that you don't take any equity in the company. So I even went back to watch to see if he meant like 12% interest rate or something like that, but he says equity. And so I don't understand what he meant by that. That's something that's been troubling me since I started writing the notes for this episode. The brothers then bring up that they would really like to tie in a sort of face of the brand partnership with the shark that they get involved with this. And Lori says, fine, I'll do it if you up it to 25%.
Okay, we'd be open to that.
Done.
Can I hear, did Mark have an offer?
My brand's too big to be face of a brand. Right?
After this incredible fumble, after they just completely tripped and fell all over themselves, they tell Mark, no. You wouldn't have to be the face of the brand if you were our partner, but maybe you could find somebody else for us, somebody lesser who we can afford. Of course, this makes Lori upset. Because of this time fishing for Mark, Lori says, never mind. The deal is back to 20% and I am not letting you use my face. Maybe I will, but no guarantees. Maybe, but maybe not. Kevin then jumps in to remind everybody that he also made an offer and to vouch for its greatness. And while he's going on about that, Mark waves over Lori and...
All right, you're done with him. All right.
Hello.
The power partnership of Mark and Lori come together to start off the season strong, making a deal super similar to Lori's original offer of $250,000 as a loan and $250,000 as equity at 20%. But After they make the first 10 million in sales, they each get 5% more, increasing the equity to 30%. Then, after 20 million in sales, they each get another 5%, increasing it to 40% overall. The brothers are interested in the offer, but they need that second trigger to be a higher number for purposes of selling the company. They bring up the idea of 50 million being that second trigger, and bada boom, bada bing, they have a deal with Mark and Lori for $250,000 as a loan, $250,000% as equity. After the first 10 million in sales, Mark and Lori each get 5% more, and then after the Then, after they get 50 million in sales, they each get 5% more. So pretty much in the end, it'll be 40% if they get to that second trigger. The end. Final thoughts for Gatsby Chocolate. Number one, I did agree with Lori and Candace about the packaging and the name. The only reason they even picked the name is because of the whole thing with Gatsby falling into public domain. That was their only reason. And they also were like, decadence and whatever. But like Lori and Candace said, it made me think it was going to be like a drinking chocolate, like either liqueur flavored chocolate or something like that. Because even in the name, the Y is a martini glass. The branding just made no sense with everything. I also just don't know what possessed them to start this business. I mean, they said it themselves, stupidity, but I just can't imagine selling Halo Top and then starting all over. Like, take that money and go on a vacation. Feed the hungry. Do something else. Why would you do this? Sometimes when I'm watching Shark Tank, I just think so many people, it feels like nowadays, don't have hobbies. Like, get a hobby. Take that money and get a hobby. As for the product itself, I obviously have not tried it, but I don't think I would. I'm not really into like healthy treats. I get it if you need to eat less sugar and all that, that's great, but like I'm not just actively seeking that sort of stuff. So then we go from the world of chocolate to the world of wine with our second pitch of the day, pie wine. Best friends Kevin and Joshua are looking for $200,000 for 7% of their canned wine that's supposed to pair perfectly with pizza. Here it is, once again, a pretty self-explanatory product. They have whites, they have reds, whatever you want to go with your pizza of choice. It costs them $1.50 to make, and it retails between $5 and $5.50. So when they went on the show to film, they had only launched 2 weeks ago. So the sales are more an idea rather than concrete numbers, but they had projected about $300,000 to $400,000 in wholesale orders. It's expected to be well north of $500,000 in 30 days and are projecting $6.5 million by the end of the year. I put a lot of quotes there because those were direct quotes that they said. You know, with products like this, it's like, why, how, we can't, like, where is this coming from? To be fair, I do think the $300,000 to $400,000 in projected wholesale dollars were based off actual orders. But the rest of the projections, when companies come in this early and just like throw out these huge random numbers, I'm always like, where did this, from what? From where? You're projecting it from your mind? Like, I need more information. Even though it only launched 2 weeks ago, they had been working on this for a while and have put literally pretty much everything into this. Joshua sold his 401k. Kevin sold his house, and they've in total invested $300,000. However, this just is not a product the sharks were biting on. Kevin is the first to go out, and it's because he's apparently making his own sparkling wine. I haven't looked into it at all yet. I honestly kind of forgot about it since I wrote these notes, but I'm gonna have to find it and try it. I have to know all about that, but that would be for another video. So because it would be in competition with his own sparkling wine, he has to go out.
Thank you so much for
we predicted which shark would be the first one to go out, and look at this. I knew it. Isn't that amazing? We knew.
I really want to know why they assumed Kevin would be the first to go out, because I mean, no matter how much grief I give Kevin, and Kevin's not my favorite shark, he is kind of the wine shark, so wouldn't you hope he wouldn't be the first one to go out? I really would love to hear some backstory on why they assumed that. They don't say anything except for that. And it just goes downhill from there. Mark is invested in another Shark Tank company called Beatbox, which is delicious if I do say so myself. It is a boxed wine, and since it's a competitor, he can't invest in them, so he's out. Lori just thinks it's way too early to invest in it, so she's out. Damon doesn't see where he can add any value, and he doesn't want to fight with the other big players on the market, so he's out. And finally, we have Candace, who thinks it's too kitschy and not really the market she wants to be in, so she also goes out.
We will respectfully give you all another chance to come back in right now.
At one point, before they all started going out, Joshua even offered to make a deal with the Sharks that if they're not happy with their investment in a year, they'll buy the Shark out who invests in them, which is just a crazy offer to make, honestly. Unfortunately, though, the guys leave without a deal. Overall, I agree with the Sharks that it's just too early for this for an investment. Sometimes it works out to come onto the Shark Tank early, and sometimes it doesn't. I feel like a product like this, you really have to come in with sales to show that it works, because it's not anything unique or proprietary, really. Like, there's a million canned sparkling wines out there. You have to show that your canned sparkling wine is good and people want to buy it. It's not like they have some proprietary technology that they're like building and is new, and you know, that's kind of the difference for me about when you can come in early and when you can't. While this is definitely going on my list of Shark Tank products to try, I definitely understand why they didn't get a deal. Our third pitch is Paige with Seaworthy Patches. She's looking for $250,000 for 10% of her new shape and design for classic adhesive eye patches. Here's some examples of the different designs she has. There were so many fun and cute ones, but the big thing for her is not just the fun and cool design, but also the shape is different from most eye patches, and it's supposed to be more comfortable on the eye. They cost her $7 to make, and she retails them on her website for $27.50, and that's 50 patches in a box. She started this business in 2019, and in 4 years, she's made $1.7 million. And guess what? We do have a cash flow positive business on our hands. Woo-hoo!
And is it just you running this business?
Me, myself, and I.
Just you.
Go, girl.
So
Those are the best partners always.
Unfortunately, she is punished for doing so well because most of the sharks think she's doing fine on her own. She talks about one of the main reasons she needs a shark is she needs help calling people to do licensing deals. Like, how cool would it be if you had like a Superman eye or all that? And she needs help to get to those people to have those conversations to make those deals. Damon does not agree with this though.
That's an easy call that you can make, to be very honest, right?
And one by one, all the sharks start to go out. Candace, Damon, and Mark all think she's doing great on her own and doesn't actually need a shark. Kevin gives the weird reasoning of that he likes to be an advocate for his products by using them, and since it's not something he can use, he just doesn't see it as something he can invest in. So he's also out. And lastly, Lori just doesn't think it's the right investment for her, but says she'd be happy to talk to her about licensing. We'll see. They'd love to say that and then not follow through, so who knows if that happened. And like the friends before her, she leaves the tank without a deal. Final thoughts, it seems like a really great product, especially if it works. And it sometimes frustrates me when I'm watching this show and products like Gatsby Chocolate get a deal and she doesn't get a deal. I don't know. I mean, I get that they're the brothers of Halo Top or whatever, and maybe they're more investing in the brothers' potential and not so much the chocolate, but I don't know. I just feel like she way more deserved a deal, and maybe they're right. She's fine on her own, very much like American Idol. Sometimes it's best not to win, but I don't know. It's still frustrating as a viewer to watch and be like, why? She's profitable. She's doing something good. One of you, I feel like, could help her. You know, that's my opinion. Our last pitch of the night is Kristen. She's asking for $75,000 for 10% of Gently Soap, a natural soap for sensitive skin that doesn't use essential oils or any artificial fragrances.
Smells like lavender.
Smells like soap to me.
I have to start off this whole section by saying this girl is so smart. I usually watch these on like 1.75 speed when I'm doing my notes, and I had to slow it down because the words she was saying, I couldn't keep up. She's just beyond. Like, so we're going to give a little background on Kristen. Her grandparents own an 84-acre farm in Alabama, and she grew up going there. On top of that, just like important childhood memory and developing a love of plants there, it was also super important to her because it was an entire community of Black farmers. She continued this love of plants by becoming an agricultural researcher. Her undergrad degrees are in agricultural communication and horticulture. I'm not gonna even lie, I practiced saying that so many times and I got that right on like the first clip. Horticulture. She's taken this lifetime knowledge of plants and made a proprietary herbal infusion that goes into the soaps that makes them smell really nice while still being safe for sensitive skin. Here's what the product looks like. Again, just a simple, self-explanatory product. It cost her $2.38 to make, and they retail for $11 a bar.
How did you come up with $11 a bar? Look, I'm stunned because this is expensive.
So she says comparable bars of soap are between like $14 and $16. I am not the soap expert. I am not an expert on pretty much anything. But obviously I did a little looking around at different prices of soap. And the Sharks kind of get into this because Kevin asks what's a similar bar of soap that solves the problem of sensitive skin. And obviously, if you just look for just plain sensitive skin soap, you're going to find cheap options, that just don't smell like anything. They're just that white standard bar of soap. But like Candace points out, this is more of a luxury artisanal brand. And when you try to look up like luxury sensitive skin soaps, they are more on the higher side. I saw things between 10 and 15 when I was just doing a quick little look around. So it kind of just depends what kind of product you're looking for. Are you just looking for something that's, goes and works, or are you looking for, something luxury, something different? It all depends. It's all relative. And the best way to see if $11 is too much or not is to look at the sales. She's been in business since 2021. Last year, she did $66,000 and profited $38,000 off of that. And year to date, she's at $113,000. So yes, we have a profitable business once again. Pow, pow! Our only two profitable businesses this episode being women. Girl boss, women. But now it's time to find out what the Sharks think. Damon gives the funniest reason for going out that he's given in a while. He says that he has always gotten just a million compliments on his skin without ever having to do anything to it. So he just doesn't really see how he could help with a product like this. And he's out. Similar but not exact to Damon, Mark says he just can't connect with the product, so he goes out. Lori says it's not the right business for her at this time because of something else she's working on. She does not tell us what the something else is. I would love to know. But of course, Kevin loves it because of her huge margins.
I smell a royalty.
He offers her $75,000 for 10% with $1 royalty on every bar sold until he makes back $500,000. Then it drops to 20 cents per bar in perpetuity. But Kevin isn't the only one interested. Candace loves that Kristen is a passion-driven entrepreneur. And also, Candace offers to connect her to 13 Loon, which is a business that promotes BIPOC-owned skincare companies. And Candace offers her $75,000 for 30%. That is a lot more than the 10% she came in asking for. So Kristen tries to counter $75,000 for 15%, but Candace isn't having it. Kristen tries again, $75,000 for 20%, but no.
Kristen, you're over-negotiating. Seriously.
She tries one last time, $75,000 for 25%.
Oh!
And she makes a deal with Candace for $75,000 for 25%. Final thoughts to start. I just really like her. I like her story. I like her background. I think she's just really interesting. So I was happy she got a deal. I think it's just one of those things where it's a luxury product. Like, it just is what it is. It's not necessarily something I would buy. I would as a gift. It feels like a gift item. It's too expensive for me. That's the bottom line for me. But it's relative. It's relative for everybody. I said that earlier. And then we wrap this pitch and the entire show with this great clip of Kevin and Damon.
Kevin, we know you love money, but do you love the structures that you create because you will reduce your vulnerability or your option to lose?
Damon, after all these years,
Yes.
15 years
Yes.
of Shark Tank, look at how much I've taught you.
Nothing.
I disagree. Some of the greatest knowledge comes from learning what not to do. And Kevin has taught us that every single show.
Overall, I think it was a pretty good first episode. The bar was on the ground after that live episode, first episode last season. So just doing a normal episode made it leaps and bounds better than the first episode of last season. Our new guest shark, Candace, didn't make a huge impression on me yet. We'll see how many episodes she gets and what other deals she might make. But so far, she's just there for me. Don't hate it. Don't love it. She's fine, If you made it this far in the video, you may care about the upload schedule for my Shark Tank videos, because if you actually watch Shark Tank live in the season, we are already like 7 episodes in, but I'm just now releasing episode 1. So I upload videos every other Wednesday. How is this going to work? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to have a Shark Tank Fest on this channel for the next 2-3 weeks. I will try my best to find a way to put this on the screen in a way that is presentable and nice, but here's a basic idea. Today is November 22nd, and I'm posting episode 1. On Monday, November 27th, I'll be posting episode 2. On Wednesday, November 29th, I'll be posting episode 3. Friday, December 1st, posting episode 4. Monday, December 4th, posting episode 5. Wednesday, December 6th, posting episode 6, and then Friday, December 8th, posting episode 7. I have done that so many times. I finally got it right. So that's the plan. Hopefully everything will go fine. We can stick to it, because after that, I plan on posting episode 8 on December 11th, and then episode 9 on the 15th. And then that next week, on Wednesday, I'll be doing a normal, just reality TV video that's not Shark Tank. The week after that, Monday and Friday, will be Shark Tank videos. And it will continue on like that as long as everything goes to plan. Are you watching season 15 of Shark Tank? Have you tried any of the products that were in this episode? Do you think my upload schedule sounds completely bonkers? Just let me know all that and more in the comments. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one.